Hello,
Hey, how you
Jason.
going? How are you?
Hey, mate. How are you?
Really good, really good. Sorry,
Cool.
I'm in the middle of building a new studio at my house, so I'm like everything's a bit hectic at the moment.
No worries, man. No worries. Well, look, just to give you an idea of what we do here, Talking Bollocks podcast has been going 11 years. I also sing in UK thrash metal band Acid Rain, so been around a very long time. Yeah, first album in I think 88, so been around a
Oh,
while.
damn. Yeah,
Um,
been around the block.
yeah, absolutely. I'm also the vocalist, so going to be a lot of singer love on this chat.
No, it's good to hear, man.
Um, and Look, I'll be totally upfront with you. Psycroptic was an email was an album that just dropped into my email from one of the PRs that sent me stuff, and
Yeah.
I knew the name, but I'd never heard you. I'm not a fan of death metal. I'm even less of a fan of technical death metal. Um,
Yeah.
but I played the first track and I was just like, oh, hang on. There's like, yeah, this,
Something different.
yeah, musicality. Yeah. And also, most importantly, what I discovered over the album is some dynamics. And that's what really drew me to it. The fact that you were different, and the fact that you were from Hobart, sorry, from Tasmania, which absolutely blew my mind.
Tasmania, yeah.
That's insane, dude. I mean,
Yeah, man.
yeah, it's just there's so many unique challenges presented by where you're based. How do you deal with that?
Just work hard. No, we were lucky. We were kind of lucky enough. Dave, our drummer, he's kind of one of those dudes that if he puts his mind to something, he's kind of going to figure out, how to do it. He's not going to accept failure, really. So,
Yeah,
I mean, he just networked hard and then, yeah, it was just hard work. I mean, we sort of built ourselves up in Australia over time so that touring out here was profitable. So then we could roll that money into touring abroad, Europe, UK, the
yeah,
States. I mean, it it wasn't an easy task back in the early days. Like the first 10 years in the band, we were slogging it out, making no money, going home broke, but
yeah,
we'd go home and we'd work our ass off at our day job and we'd replenish the funds and then we'd go out and do it all again even
yeah,
though everybody thought we were fucking crazy. But
yeah,
uh, we had passion and we had belief and we had a dream, I guess.
yeah. You had everything but money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
still don't have a lot of it, but we still got that passion.
Yeah, but it's about building that
Mm.
sustainable business model that means you've actually got a band and but also you've got a future that you're working towards something.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're at the point now where all that hard work in the early days, it set us up, it paid off. We can headline most places around the world now. I think we've got enough respect within, the bigger bands, that, a lot of them will take us out on tour with them. And so, yeah, things are good now. And I do put it down to, that first 10 years of just fucking relentlessly slogging it out and not taking no for an answer.
Yeah, yeah, and this is where the whole 10,000 hours thing falls down.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, fine, learn any skill in 10,000 hours, but you've now when you're in a band, it's like yeah, but you've got to somehow try and make that work, so it was worth spending the 10,000 hours learning the skill.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think with music, it's different to most, a lot of skills anyway, whereas, it's passion first and then payday second, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does make it easier to sort of stick it out when the rewards can seem further away because, well, you are getting those rewards because you're writing a song that you're into or an album that you're really proud of or whatever. So, and you
yeah.
get to, hang out and tour the world with, your best mates, and the camaraderie and everything that goes with all that is pretty fucking cool. And, like nothing else you can do, really.
I totally. I mean, that's why you can build. That's why you can bump into somebody that you last saw 10 years ago and that you toured with, and you can and it's like they just left the room and came back in again. There's
Oh,
there's that
100%.
bond.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, we've got, bands that we've toured with a bunch of times over the years, like, bands like Cephalic Carnage, great mates of ours, but we'll go 5, 6 years where we don't run into those dudes, and then they'll show up at a show, or we'll come through their hometown, and next thing there's a knock on the RV door, and it's one of those guys. It's like, fuck, and it's as if you saw him yesterday, and it's
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
yeah,
And we're
yeah. No,
we're we're a band that's lucky enough that we do get a lot of repeat business with the bands we tour with. As such, like bands like Cephalic Carnage, we've done a bunch of stuff with. Aborted, we've done a bunch of stuff with. Black Dahlia Murder, so we do luckily come across a lot of familiar faces
yeah,
regularly in this game, which is, it's cool, and it's a lot of it's about those friendships and relationships you build up along the way.
yeah, yeah. Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot to be said. It's kind of like the movie business in that way. When word gets round that an actor's an arsehole, they like they wonder why they always miss out on the really big jobs, and it's because
Mm,
word's out. And it's the same.
yeah.
It's the same with bands.
Oh, fuck
If
yeah.
if you can tour with people who like you're touring with people who are like, hey, look, like we'll let's all hump each other's gear and get it all in, and let's work together and let's work as a team, as opposed to like some bands who are just like, yeah, well, this is our shit over here, this is what we do, and we're just going to keep ourselves
Yeah.
to themselves. And it's like, hey, enjoy touring with us this time, because there won't be another.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, we've been so lucky that we haven't really come across anyone that's an asshole. I
Yeah,
mean, you get the odd person here and there, but there's nothing really that stands out. All our experiences on tour have been fucking great. So maybe
yeah.
maybe we're just lucky in that respect. But we've had such a good run.
Oh, mate. I mean, well, bearing in mind, the first tour I did was 1988. Um, there's been plenty of room for ourselves in there. um, um, but to be fair, um, not not really. We had a whole like 20 years off. So, but since we came back
Mm,
in 2015, yeah, completely arsehole free, but also a completely different business to the one
it
that I
is.
left.
100%. I mean, I started with Psycroptic in 2004, and I mean, I think the industry, in a lot of ways, I suppose, like the industry on the live touring front, I think it's a lot better now. There's a lot more positive. There's less egos in the game, and I don't know, it's just a nicer place to be around than it was, 20 odd years ago. As
Yeah,
for, on the CD front, and,
yeah.
like with Spotify and all that end of the industry is obviously pretty fucked these days. But, yeah, there's a lot of positive changes have happened within the industry within the last probably 15 years, though.
Yeah, look, I totally agree. I think yes, the physical product, LPs, CDs, that's basically the price that we've paid
Mm,
for for everything else.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I mean, there was a time where three or four journalists could make or break how your album was perceived across entire countries.
Ah, 100%, 100%. And I mean, now yeah, I mean, the whole Spotify thing, it has definitely got its advantages when it comes to getting your music out there. Obviously, not when it comes to getting paid, but I think, I guess in this day and age, it just means that touring, it's more crucial, I suppose, if you want to make some sort of like financial career out of being in a band these days.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean,
absolutely.
and another thing I think is great, in this day and age as well, is like podcasts like yourself. And, there's so many great ones out there, Into the Necrosphere, In the Abyss, a lot actually coming out of the UK at the moment, which I think they're really great at, pushing the bands that, they like, or the sort of stuff that they're into as well. And, it creates these sort of, smaller branches of the scene. And, it's kind of like, I guess the podcast thing's the equivalent of the old fanzines, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
where
yeah. Anyone can do one.
anyone can do it. It's very DIY, and
Yeah.
it's just a dude that's, showing their audience all the bands that they're into, or the promos they get sent, or the demos they get sent, or whatever. So yeah, it is a changing landscape, but there's so much cool shit going on at the moment.
Do you know what? That is actually quite revelatory. I've been doing this 11 years, and never once has it crossed my mind, and never once has anyone said that podcasts are like fanzines. And yeah, yeah. Now you've said it, I feel like a fucking idiot for not realizing that.
But
But
it,
yeah, you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
it's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's got that very, DIY ethos.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming you're somewhere in your house
yeah, yeah,
doing this
yeah,
podcast
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
stuff. You don't need a big studio or whatever. You can do it in a bedroom. You can do it from your home office or whatever. And yeah, and it's a cool way. It keeps, that sort of underground side of the scene alive, which,
yeah,
let's be honest, that's where the bulk of the best music comes from as well. So,
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, again, I come from an era when we first started where the only way you found out what um, fans thought of your stuff was by doing a gig and them telling you.
mm,
That's it.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But it would just be like fucking what journalists thought, and you'd be like,
yeah,
okay, well, it's like hopefully people actually like it, and
yeah, yeah,
whereas now instantly you get people who are all over it, and people who are like, no, I'm out.
yeah,
You've done this or you've done that, or you're like, you've used an acoustic guitar. Fuck you guys, you're
yeah,
dead to me.
yeah.
You know,
Oh
all,
man.
all that shit. So speaking of which, let's move on to the new album, because I'm like I said, it really stood out to me, and I'm not kissing your ass here. I like you could go through all the episodes I've done. There's I think probably three other death metal bands in 11 years that I've ever spoken to.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, it really stood out for me just straight away. And the things that stood out were you've actually got riffs.
Mm.
Love riffs, great. you
Yeah,
know
our guitar player Joe, he's big on the riffs, and he's a
yeah,
fucking master. He's a master of writing them. Well, as far
absolutely.
as I'm concerned, anyway.
No, mate, I look, I totally agree. And also, just as important, you can have the best riffs in the world, but if nobody knows how to arrange them, you ain't going to have any songs. And
Yeah.
and I found found the arrangements really interesting, but also really I don't want to have I don't want to have a go at a whole genre here, because maybe it's just my perception, but
Mm.
actual song structures that
Yeah.
that make sense. You know,
I mean, and that's something we're really big on. Like, I don't know if you've gone back and checked out any of our back catalogue from, 20 plus years ago, but we were a band that, in the early days, it was really fast. There was, million riffs,
yeah,
shifting through a song, and it wasn't catchy stuff. It was a bunch of young men saying, "Hey, we're the fastest band on
yeah,
the planet." And as a lot of young people get caught up in, when you're in your early 20s, full of testosterone, fuck,
did
we all
that.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly, 100%. And it's and so all the early albums have got sort of that sort of key thing where it's just a bunch of men showing what they can do. But as we got a bit older and we toured more, we really wanted to focus a lot more on grooves, song structures, trying to make things catchy, memorable, get wild mosh pits. Because I mean, when you go on 100 mile an hour all the time, it just people in the audience when you're playing live, they don't know what to fucking make of it. You know,
Yeah.
they can't get a mosh pit going or whatever, and everyone's kind of just standing there fucking. They're bedazzled with the playing and the, you know, the technical prowess and all the rest, but it doesn't get that full blown energy. And I think we realized that fairly early on in the piece, and so we kind of did look at, you know, all right, we need to structure this for live. We need, you know, slower bits, faster bits, more just up tempo, you know, groove, get the mosh pit going, sort of stuff. And I think as well, I mean, you coming from a thrash background, the thing that might appeal to you is there sort of is a lot of thrash elements sort of added in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, and that's something that we're all really big on. I mean, in this day and age, we're still sort of thrown into the tech death genre, but I think, you know, from our point of view, I think we've sort of branched away from that over the last probably 10 years, 15 years, and I don't know, we try to push more of a thrash. I mean, there's still the technical elements there, but I think we're sort of getting further and further away from that traditional, what you would call tech death, you know, with every album really.
Well, funnily enough, when I was listening to the album, yes, I picked up on the thrash elements. Um, but I was also kind of left wondering. I was like, yeah, okay, so I don't know. This isn't what I expected technical death metal to sound like.
Mm,
And I guess
yeah.
what you're saying is you've kind of it sounds really sort of patronizing, but like outgrown the genre or just kind
Mm,
of, you know, harder to pigeonhole.
yeah, exactly. And like I think the whole thing, I mean, if we were to come out with Pulse of Annihilation, you know, today as our debut album, I don't think we would get labeled as a tech death band, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what we would. People would just probably call us an extreme metal band or something like that. But
yeah,
I think the label that we've got is from, you know, back 20 odd years ago when, yeah, we definitely were a tech death band when we started. But yeah, we've definitely gone beyond that in
yeah.
this day and age. But the
Well,
label's
also, I
still
think
there.
sorry, go on.
Yeah, but the label of the genre is still just kind of stuck with us over the years. But you know, it is what it is, and we're not. You know, it's not that we don't like being pigeonholed into that genre, but I think it does turn a lot of people off listening to us that probably would enjoy what we do
Yeah,
simply because they've got that whole we don't like tech death thing, if
yeah,
that makes
yeah, yeah.
sense.
Yeah, no,
Because
no,
we
absolutely.
do hear it a lot, you know. We do hear it a lot from, you know, from interviewers and podcasters and stuff that I talk to. They're like, yeah, I'm not a fan of tech death at all, but fuck, when I heard you guys, there was really something there, you know. And
Yeah,
you think, yeah, I think it's because we're not really so much that genre anymore.
yeah, sure. But also, I think the other thing that adds to that for me as well, um, I really like the production,
Mm.
and also that from the thrash metal point of view, for me, that guitar tone says thrash metal to me more than anything else.
Ah,
Um,
yeah, and
fucking love it.
Joe, yeah, Joe, our guitarist, because he's the also the one that produces the albums as well. So he's a studio engineer. Um, but yeah, he's always had that real sort of thrash tone on the guitar. You know, the
Yeah,
gains really dialed back because he's a precision player. So if it,
yeah,
you know, if he's turning too much gain on, too much bottom end and stuff, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound right for his playing. So he's
yeah,
always, it's a weird thing with Joe as well. Like we've, you know, a bunch of us have always said, and our sound guys have always said as well, like Joe can plug into any rig that is put in front of him, dials it in, plays it, and it just sounds exactly the fucking same.
yeah,
Because we're always like, you know, you can play a fucking Messer, you can play a Randall, you can play a Hughes and Kettner, whatever, but how does it all? It always just sounds like fucking Joe Haley. And one of our old sound guys was like, it's not the guitar, it's not the amp, it's his fingers. That's what makes him sound like Joe Haley.
Yeah, it's without doubt it's something that like I said, they just jumped out at me about the production, but also just the production overall, which was um uh it just I have this phrase laptop metal, which
Mm,
is basically like, oh, it's another album that like sounds like it's heavy, but then when you kind of listen to it, it's kind of not, because I recognize that guitar tone from
yeah,
that album and that drum sound from
yeah,
that album, and it's just a
yeah. It's
collection
just
of parts.
yeah, they've just grabbed a whole heap of plugins, compressed the fuck out of everything, locked
And made
locked it
and
to a
made
grid, locked it to
yeah,
a grid, and there you go. Yeah,
yeah, made an album for earbuds, and it's like, yeah, right, okay, well,
yeah,
if that's what you want, fine.
yeah. It's got no
But
feeling to it though.
yeah, absolutely. And that, I mean, we put an album out in May, and it was, and we made a point of saying that there's no digital effects on the whole album. Everything
Mm,
is
his
analog.
amps.
Yeah,
Oh right, yeah, sick.
exactly, exact. So basically, if you want the guitar tone from the new album, tough, can't have it. It doesn't
Shit.
exist. It's the moment in time.
Yeah,
And that's and
that's
and that's
it.
exactly what I kind of, I was predisposed to like that production on your album, because
Mm,
like you said, it's the exact opposite of what a lot of stuff is doing, which is just compressed to fuck. And
mm.
and yeah, and it ends up with zero feel and zero energy.
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't agree more.
But yeah, you've avoided all those pitfalls, and well, well done, Joe, because that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky to have him on board. I mean, he's a master riff writer. He's a fucking amazing composer and an arranger, but he's also absolutely amazing in the studio as well. So he's kind of the all rounder that we're just lucky enough that he chose us to complement what he does almost.
Well, so how is it being in a band with like two brothers? Because that's got to feel weird occasionally, like, you're sort of on the
Not
outside of
really.
this family relationship.
Oh, I mean, I've been working with those dudes for fuck, it's like 22 years now.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
guess it's almost like it's a whole family dynamic with the three of us, really. I mean, those two, like a lot of people ask the question, they're like, oh, the two brothers in the band, they must bicker and argue and shit all the time. But it's like, nah, not really. They
yeah,
they seem to get along pretty well, and yeah, they're both super chilled. And so, there's no issue. And it's like I remember Dave, drummer, he had a funny one once where he was just fucking around. He's like, hey Joe, come on, bro. Hey bro, come here. And then he's looked at me and he's gone, it's fucking weird because I'm joking around calling him bro, but he actually is my brother, and it's just shit like that all the time, and it's cool. They're very fucking easy to get along with.
all right. Well, well, it must be if you've been, because you've been in the band that long that
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. And I mean, we're a band. We're lucky enough that there isn't any bitching and moaning or fighting or arguing. Like there's never been any of that. It's always, we've always got along really well. We're always, you know, we're good mates first and foremost before being band members. So
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
helps a lot.
and like I remember back when I got married, fucking 17 years ago, bloody. When it came to my wife saying who's going to be your best man, I said, "Oh, Psycroptic." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Psycroptic, like the three of them, like the other three boys are going to be my best man." So it's that kind of relationship that we've got and that we've always had. So it's
Yeah,
fucking cool. And
yeah,
so
and
yeah, and so yeah, I mean, it's a very lucky thing to have. And I mean, we're at the point now where we're all spread out over the world. Me and Joe live near each other, but yeah, Dave lives over in Melbourne and Todd, our bass player, lives in New Jersey. So it's kind of like we don't get to hang out outside touring so much anymore, which I think makes it when we are getting together and doing the touring thing even that little bit more special as well now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's another reason for doing it.
100%.
Yeah. So, um, okay, if that's not a strange dynamic, a lot of the press with the new album has you down as having two vocalists.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
yeah, how does that
This is
work?
so this is a weird one, and this is where I suppose people that have followed the band, for 20 odd years, they kind of find it strange. So basically what happened was, so I've got two kids. So touring, when you'd be coming to the end of some of those like really grueling touring schedules, it just got to the point where I just couldn't do everything, so you'd be back and forth between Europe and America and touring Australia,
Yeah,
for 4 months, and it gets to the point where it's like, fuck, I've got to go home. I've got to go spend some time with my kids and stuff. But a tour offer would come up that'd be really good, and it was like, well, I can't do it, but it's a great offer, so let's get someone to fill in. And Jason Kaiser from Origin, he's a guy, he used to crew for us a bit on tour, like he'd drive or do merch or whatever. So he was like kind of part of the gang anyway.
boy, did he get a
And
promotion.
yeah, so we were kind of like, fucking, how would you feel about, singing tours when I can't do it? And he's like, yeah, fuck, as long as it doesn't clash with what he's got booked with Origin, then he was all keen for it. So we were like, yep. So he did a bunch of tours, and then COVID hit, and we were doing an EP. And Dave, our drummer, sort of suggested that, he said, why don't we get Kaiser to just do backing vocals for one of the songs? And I was kind of like, well, it's only a 2-song EP. Why don't we just go dual vocals for both songs? It'll be fun. It'll be different, and we'll see what happens, And so we just gave it a go. It worked better than we expected it would. And so when it came to doing the Divine Council album, we were kind of like, well, fuck it. That was cool. It was fun. It worked. Everyone enjoyed it. Let's do it again. Let's put dual vocals on it. And then the intention was to never do both of us live at a time. Like that's never been on the cards. It's always going to be,
Yeah,
it's either one or the other. Yeah. And I mean, more than likely, it will be me majority of the time these days. But it was kind of like, let's just do it. And then after the release of that album, that came out great. It was really good. I did one US tour in support of the album, and then I got really ill, and I wasn't able to tour for best part of 2 years. And he stepped in, and he did all the touring for me. So when it came to sort of starting to write Pulse of Annihilation, we were like, well, this is it, We're just doing it this way from now on. We're putting the two vocalists on, and every time a tour comes up, one of us will be able to do it. So
yeah,
and so now it's a great dynamic. To a lot of the fans that have followed us for a long time, they get a bit confused by it. They're like, you got two vocalists, but we only ever see one or the other, and it doesn't make any sense. And we're like, well, it doesn't fucking have to make sense to you guys. It makes sense to us. We enjoy
that's
it.
fucking brilliant, though. I love it.
We think, yeah, I mean, we get great results in the studio. We enjoy it. There's none of this like, because a question I get a lot about it is people saying, is there any sort of like dynamic of, someone trying to, overpower the other, or something, one of us trying to take charge or the other. And it's like, no, there's no bullshit like that. It's just fun. We enjoy it, and it's what's working for us, and it's yielding great results. And we're just kind of like, well, fuck it. I mean, it's working for now. We'll just stick with it for now, and we'll see we'll see where it takes us, because it's been working great for the last like 5 years nearly now. So we'll just keep running with it.
But well, again, it was something that I noticed with the album. Although I didn't pick the two vocalists straight away.
Mm.
Um, I thought it was. I thought it was one dude, like,
Yeah, and that's the
with
thing.
two completely different styles.
Yeah, and our voices blend really well together,
Yeah,
which was kind of like when we did it on the EP to start with. Well, me and Joe were in the studio putting it all together, and we're like, "Fuck, this is sounding really, really fucking cool." This
yeah.
is working so well. So like, fuck, I don't have an ego about this shit. So it's kind of like whatever's going to yield the best results, and whatever's going to work the best for everybody, and what's going to keep the band moving forward and pushing on and being able to take those great opportunities that come our way.
That must have been one of those magical studio moments where you were working on it for the first time on that first EP
Mm,
with the two vocals and going like, "Whoa, fuck, I'm in this band. Like, how
yeah,
cool does this
yeah,
sound?"
yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing. And I mean, even at times as well, where we also get the Joe's wife Amy. She does backing vocals on usually a couple of songs on
I
each album
thought I
as
could.
well.
I
Mm,
I thought I spotted a female vocal,
yeah,
beautifully balanced in the mix, I might add.
yeah. Yep. So it's a bit more on Pulse of Annihilation. It's more subtle than it has been on the last two albums, but yeah, there's still, I think there's about four songs where it is in there. Like some parts it's only an intro, some parts it's just, you know, quietly in the choruses and stuff, just as a, really fill it out and stuff. But that was another one when we did our self-titled album. Fuck, what was that? Probably 12, 13 years ago. Um, we got a bit experimental with that, and we sort of did. We wanted to do a bit of operatic choruses and stuff like that, and I did those vocals on that album. But man, it was, I was stepping so far out of my comfort zone, and I basically to do the few choruses that had the operatic vocals on it. I reckon I spent more time just on those couple of bits than what I did singing the rest of the album.
Yeah,
And when it came to doing the As the Kingdom Drowns album, I was kind of like, fuck, I just don't know if I want to do it again. Like, I wanted to have the operatic vocals on there, or choir sort of vocals in parts, because I had ideas written for it. But I was kind of like, fuck, I don't know if I want to do it again. It was just grueling, and I was happy with the results, but I wasn't like stoked with the results, if
yeah.
that makes sense. And that's when I was talking to Amy about it, and I said, I don't know, do you know anyone that we could get in? And she said, I could try if you want. I'm like, yeah, if you're keen. And I mean, she lives at the fucking studio that we record in. Her husband's the engineer, so we're like, fuck yeah, let's jump into the booth and let's see what you can do, and let's see what works. And she did the chorus to "We Were the Keepers," I think was the first one off the As the Kingdom Drowns album. And as soon as she started on that, I was just like, well, that's good, because I can sack myself as the operatic vocalist now. And
Yeah,
because she was just like knocking through the harmonies in fucking record time, and it just sounded amazing. And I was like, fuck, this is what I wanted to be able to do. But obviously I'm a
that's
very
what
different I'm a very
when you
different vocalist.
when you put those parts together, that's how you heard it in your head.
Mm,
And
a 100%.
because you physically couldn't match what you heard in your head,
I was just never happy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I know that
yeah. But
feeling.
when, yeah. But so when we got her involved, it was just kind of like, fuck, we've got
Yeah.
another tool in our toolbox we can fuck around with now. So,
Well, it's
yeah.
very subtle on the new album because
Mm.
I genuinely only noticed her on one song, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm now gonna go back
I was going to
and
say, yeah.
yeah, follow
Now,
the
now that you know
breadcrumbs.
it's there, yeah. Now that you know it's there, you'll be going, oh fuck, there she is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But that means it's really well mixed as well. That means she's just there supporting, as opposed
Yeah,
to except when you want her a little bit more upfront because you want that
yeah, exactly.
operatic effect.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I love the fact that like you say, you've got two vocalists and it works for you, and fuck it, that's how it is.
Mm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're just like, fuck it, it's our band. We can do what we want. There's no rules, there's no limitations, and you
Yeah,
know, fuck it.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
we're this far into our career. We're just gonna do what the fuck makes us happy, you know?
yeah, absolutely. But that's
Because
the
that's
that
that's what's important to us.
yeah, yeah. And also the thing is, I think that if you keep doing that, it keeps everybody who follows you on their toes. It's
Mm,
like, okay, what's coming next?
yeah.
What's the next direction? What's the next album going to sound like? And
Oh
and
yeah.
I think there is um, I think there's such a you're talking about sustainability again. It's not just from a business point of view, but from a musical point of view. You've got to be musically sustainable, and that means
Mm,
you've got to enjoy what you're doing.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and if touring and stuff becomes too stressful, and you see it with so many bands. I mean, I'm lucky that when I had kids, the guys in the band they're my best friends. They're like family to me. And there was no, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing this. When I've got kids, who knows? It's whatever. And that they were kind of like, let's just see what happens. Don't go doing anything rash, and we'll see if
Yeah,
we'll see what we can do to work with it, because we don't want to lose you. And yeah, no, over the years there was times where I could do a lot of touring, but then times where I couldn't do so much. And they were always supportive, and it's just like, it's fucking great. And now Dave, our drummer, he's a late bloomer, so he's actually just had his first son a couple of years ago, and in his mid 40s. So he's he's getting to the point where he's starting to experience too, where he's looking at touring schedules and going, you know, fuck, I don't know how well I'm going to go with, going away for 6 weeks or whatever. So he'll probably end up looking at maybe, yeah, potentially doing the same thing here and there. Who knows? But
yeah,
it's at least now, like, I mean, he's going into it knowing that it's an option. If a tour comes up that he can't do, that he wants us to do, well, no one's going to bitch and moan at him. Everyone's going to say, "Cool, man, sit it out. We'll get someone else to step in, and when you're ready to come back on the road or whatever, just jump back in."
yeah,
Because if it's a stressful thing, it's like, what's the point?
yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It's not our job. It's something we do for enjoyment. So you know, you don't want it to lose that enjoyment, because then why the fuck are we bothering doing it?
Exactly. I totally agree. I mean, I'm also a stand-up, and I've been for like 25 years, but included in those 25, well, not including those 25 years, outside those 25 years, I had 5 years off because
Mm.
I did it for 10 years, and I turned it into a job. I turned it into something that was a
Yeah.
grind and that I
Yep.
didn't enjoy,
Yeah. So you
you
might as
know?
well go work in a fucking office on a construction site.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I fully recognize that it was me that did that. It's
Yeah.
like, it was my mindset. And I fell into that job
Mm.
mindset of,
Yeah.
must get a promotion, must play bigger shows, must, yeah,
Yeah.
and I just got all wrapped up in that, and
Yeah.
eventually just went, yeah, this isn't for me. And then
Yeah.
5 years off, went back to it, and absolutely loved it, and still do it to this day because it's
Oh, it's
fun and
that's
enjoyable.
awesome. Mm.
But again, it's the same thing. If it's not fun, like, people can look at a band and go, "Oh my God, that must be amazing." It's like,
Mm.
it can be, but if
Yeah.
the minute it isn't, and there can be, going to be many minutes where it's tougher than you'd think.
Mm.
You've got to have a reason to get up there, and that's always got to be the enjoyment of it and the fun of it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, doing long tours can be a fucking grind. You do, if you're out for 5 weeks playing every day of the week, you're gonna have your days where you're just fucking exhausted, and you're like, I just don't want to be here. I want to be at home. I want to have a night where I can just lay on the couch, eat some fucking chips and watch a
Yeah.
movie, not get up there and scream at a few hundred people, but you get over that, and it's like, it is part of it. But if you're going into it and that's your mindset every night of the week, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe it's time to hang the boots up for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, singer to singer, it is also physically tiring. I mean, playing the guitar is physically tiring, and playing the
Mm.
bass and drumming, that's all physically tiring. But I don't think people realize, except other singers, how fucking tiring singing is.
Yeah, and you do have that other added aspect of it, I think, being a vocalist in an extreme metal band, that you can actually blow your voice out pretty fucking easily on tour.
Oh, mate,
If you're,
I'm a big fan of blowing my voice out, and
I'm the same.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
Oh man,
I interviewed the band Marillion.
no, not familiar
Right.
with them.
There's this band that used to be around years ago, prog band called Marillion, and I interviewed their singer Fish, who was a total hero of mine. And it was just before his last tour, and we were chatting away, and he just said the one thing that I will not miss is the stress of blowing my voice out and knowing that if I blow my voice out, the whole fucking thing is off.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna miss carrying those gigs on my back,
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
if I and he described to me, imagine this. They did sound check at a gig that, like, playing to like 3,000 people. Sound check, no problem. Within half an hour, his voice just gone, and
Fuck,
they had to cancel the show.
damn.
And
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I've never,
fuck.
I've never had that one. I'm lucky enough that I can generally sing when my voice is fucked, but it's the talking to the crowd between.
Mm,
So it's my talking voice will go worse than my singing voice
yeah,
majority of the time. So I'll be hoarse as fuck trying to talk to people before the show or whatever, but get on stage, I can sing fine, but I'll try to announce a song and my voice,
yeah.
and it'll be like,
It's kind of like so many weeks in, isn't it? And you've basically your voice is kind of is switching over. It's like
yeah,
it's like, okay, right, we're doing this a lot at the moment, so
yeah,
like this is what we
we'll
need.
protect this bit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I know.
Um,
It's insane.
yeah, and the voice and how it works and how to look after it, and warm ups and warm downs and shit like that is just
Mm,
so bizarre that
yeah,
it's like, like whispering is worse than speaking.
yeah, and
It,
and a
it's
big a
bizarre.
big thing a big thing that as I've gotten older and stuff, that I realized that the thing that when I used to fuck my voice up when I was in my younger years, it wasn't the playing the show that was the problem. It was the playing the show and then going out into a noisy bar and talking at the top of your fucking
Yeah,
voice to the person next to you after you've sung, when you should be like letting shit recover.
yeah.
You're out there in a noisy bar. I'm fucking,
Well, but the thing is, this is where singers get the reputation of having big egos and not mixing with people and being sat
Yeah.
alone on the bus. We don't want to be sat alone on the fucking bus. We
Yeah.
have to, otherwise there's no show tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You got to shut the fuck up after you play for a while. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, and that's a big thing, And I think things got a lot easier for me when I sort of came to that conclusion. I mean, I'm not a big drinker or anything by any means these days, but I might go and have a beer or two, and then that's it. I'm retiring back to the bus or the hotel or whatever, and
Yeah.
shutting the fuck up, having a steamy hot shower, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
cup.
I've learned like pre-show kind of routines as well. Hydrate, be fully hydrated before you go
Mm,
on, so your voice is nice and loose and lubricated, and
yeah, big.
got to eat 4 hours before I go on stage. Three and a
Yeah,
half,
that's
no
that's
good.
you're
Got to be
fucked.
four.
Yeah, Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'm the same. And I do all this shit like steam my voice. So I like to, if we're touring in an RV in the States, it'll be steel bowl or a pot full of boiling hot water and the towel over the head and just
Yeah.
breathe the steam in for fuck half an hour, depends on what you need. You can usually feel when it's enough. Failing that, you fucking boil a kettle with the lid open and put your head over that and breathe that in. That's one I think that when I feel that my voice is starting to get to that point in a tour where it's worn, that's kind of my go-to before and after a show to just
Right.
keep the vocal cords, lubricated, I guess you'd say. So
Yeah.
that's a big one. And I mean, the longer you've been out there doing it, the more of these little tips and tricks you either figure out for yourself or you see what other singers do and you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
that's how he's hanging in there. So maybe I'll give
Yeah.
that a go.
No, you're absolutely right. I've done exactly that. I've found my own things that work for me.
Mm.
And that is, funnily enough, on our last tour, last month, I tried in-ears for the very first time.
Oh, fucking godsend those things.
Man,
Yeah.
what have I been doing my entire fucking career?
Yeah. Oh man, I got on
Oh,
those 7 or 8 years ago, and it was the game changer for me. I mean, you know what it's like when you're singing and you're singing loud,
mm,
you've got your mouth open for full projection, but what happens when you do that is your ear canals close over, so you're not hearing your monitor a lot of the time. So then it's that vicious cycle that you sing harder to compensate for the fact you can't hear yourself, but
yeah,
you're opening up wider, so you're not really achieving shit, and you
yeah,
just blow your voice out quicker. But then you've got that whole thing of when you've got your in-ear monitors, you can always hear yourself clear as day. And if you can't, well, it's your own fault because you need to just turn around and grab your iPhone and turn your vocals up in your ears. So, and I mean, that's made a hell of a difference for me. But on the flip side of it, we did a show
Oh,
in
dude,
Hobart
sorry.
with,
Can I just pause you a second? I've
yeah,
got a
you're right.
delivery. Hang on a sec.
Oh, fuck. No, you're good, man. You're back.
Yeah, I am back, and yeah, missed them.
Yeah.
Don't know what that was about.
Uh,
Never mind.
well. But yeah, we had a show with Fear Factory in our hometown in Hobart, only about a month or so ago. And our sound guy actually said to me, how much have you got yourself cranked up in your in-ears? I'm like, what do you mean? He said, how loud are your vocals in there? And I said, pretty loud. I want to be able to hear him. He said, I think you've probably got them so loud now that he said you were singing a lot quieter than usual. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay. And he's like, you probably need to back it off in your pack because you're
Yeah.
probably singing a little bit too comfortably now. Like maybe you need to dial them down a bit so you get a little bit more
Yeah.
push and projection that, we know you can do. So I'm kind of like, all right. So there is the sort of flip side of them, but it is just a bit of a balancing act with that sort of thing. But man,
Yeah.
they make the biggest difference. Everyone I know that's got on them, like I sort of got on them fairly early before, they became really, really sort of common
Mm.
for everybody to be using them. And a lot of people were saying to me, "Oh no, I don't think I could do that. It's weird. It's not very rock and roll and stuff." And it's like, dude, you don't know how much you can conserve your voice. And it's that whole thing as well. I don't know if what your band's like, but with with my band, they don't want vocals all through their monitors. They're very precise on what they want, and they just want the bit of spill out of the center monitor
Yeah.
for theirs, or back when we were all on monitors.
Yeah.
So the problem I would have, I run around the stage a lot.
Same here. Yeah. I know where you're
So
coming from,
I'll
dude.
be I'll
Yeah.
be off I'll be off on the far corner of the bass player's side. I'll be screaming my heart out, but I can't hear a fucking thing of it. So So
Yeah.
there's that whole thing as well, and you just kind of like, fuck. Well, I hope the right thing's coming out,
But
because
the
I
thing with
can't
monitors
tell.
as well, the thing with monitors as well is like you can your voice is not only, you know, coming through, but you're going to have other stuff coming through that speaker. You've
Exactly.
got stuff
Yeah.
coming through from all the other monitors. You've also got
Mm,
all the onstage sound, and the
yeah.
voice has got to compete with all of those sounds, which are
Everything. Yeah.
all way, way louder, heavier,
Yeah.
covering all the frequencies, and
Yeah.
it's just a
Exactly.
losing battle.
Yeah. There's never enough headroom for hearing what you want to hear. So, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. And a lot of people that I know, that they ended up jumping on the in-ear monitors, and they all say the same thing. They're like, "Fuck, yeah, we should have just jumped straight on this years ago," because
Oh,
it is it,
yeah.
it is a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time.
And that
And
and that, the thing is, like, people can mouth off about it, so, it's not rock and roll and this, but the minute everybody tries them, everybody says the same thing. They're like, "Whoa, that's fucking amazing."
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think also it's kind of focused me a bit more. I think there's times where I'd be like, there's a particularly fast part, and I'd kind of like the vocals, just thinking, well, like, because you know I can barely hear what I'm doing, so
Yeah,
I guess it's the same out front. And I think I
yeah,
kind of slipped into that mindset a little bit.
yep.
Whereas within ears, you're
Now,
just like, hey, buddy, you know,
yeah,
get on fucking point.
there's yeah, exactly. There's no room to hide,
Yeah,
and you're
basically, yeah.
you're you're and you're accountable to yourself and your bandmates, because
Yeah,
they can hear it clear as day too. So they'll be like, "Fucking,
yeah,
what are you
yeah.
doing there, mate?"
Yeah, oh, I get a lot of that,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, especially when I forget the words or fuck them up from like,
Oh,
songs been performing 30 years and you still fuck it up.
we all do it
But
though.
yeah, don't we just? Don't we just? Look, man, this has been fucking great. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
No worries, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm congrats on the album, and I am gonna go. I am gonna go back through through the annals of time,
Yeah.
and check out more. This has been great fun. It really is. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you very much. I'll be sure to check out the rest of your podcasts.
Oh, cool, man. Well, look, I'm going to tag the fuck out of you guys as soon as I launch this. So when I do, keep an eye
Yep.
out and you know
Yeah.
share where you can.
Can you, when you do it, can you tag my personal page as well, Jason Psycroptic?
Yes, I will. I'll go in now and follow you on Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah. And just tag me up in your stuff and I'll share it also. We
Brilliant.
always like
Will
to
do.
guide people to the right places.
Cool, man. This has been brilliant. Thanks so much, Jason. Good
Awesome,
luck in the
man.
studio, mate.
Thank you. Catch you later.
Cool. See you when you're in the UK sometime.
All right, man. Bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.